Welcome back. Still taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. Also want to point out later in the show, we still have to feature the Roos Chris Sizzlin shot with a high five to a local golfer who shot a hole in one. The Sizzlin shot brought to you by Roos Chris at 6 PPG Place downtown, home of the Sizzlin steak done right. So we will have that in a few moments, the Roos Chris Sizzlin shot of the night. They're still coming in left and right, so a lot of good things happening in local golf, and we'll salute another one this evening. Taking your phone calls, 412-575-2600 on the Borders and Borders hotline. Let's go to Bob in Indiana. Bob, you're in the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Josh.
Thanks for calling in.
Hey, first of all, I wanted to talk about two things. First one was, why did Hurdle set Mercer down and Harrison whenever they have an off day tomorrow? Plus, they already have a lot of their starters already out. They should keep as many starters as they can on the field, not throw these replacements in. I don't know if it would have made a difference, but you have to keep the sync of the team going, and just kind of go with the flow. And it was a tough loss today, but it was one pitch. It was actually a good pitch that got hit for a run. But all in all, I think it would have been a little bit better to keep their main team together since they had a day off tomorrow and can rest. And then the other thing, I think it was a highlight. I was watching the pregame there with the Miracle Field. That is as much as I have to say against Nutting and the ownership. That was one great thing that they do for the kids, to have these places that these kids can go. I mean, I actually brought a tear to my eye when you see, because these parents have it rough, and to have something like that, it puts a smile on the kids' faces, and I'm sure it helps the parents out a lot. And that just kudos to the team, even though they're kind of like agitating the fans with what they're doing on one end. They're really doing good for the the area and all the kids that have that situation with whatever ailment they have. So I'll hang up and listen to your comments. Thank you.
Appreciate the call. Let's divide this into two chunks, because try to get to this elephant one bite at a time. As far as your first question about Jordy Mercer and Josh Harrison playing, the reason why Josh Harrison sat today is because he still has that hamstring issue. That's still lingering, and they wanted him, and this is what I'm gathering from what Clint Hurdle mentioned after the game and even before the game. They want to get Josh Harrison more rested up for this series coming up with the Cubs. So they figured the best time to do that would be to rest him today, give him the off day tomorrow. That gives him 2 full days to be ready to go when Tuesday comes around. So that way he can play both games against the Cubs, and maybe on top of that doesn't risk maybe re-injuring that hamstring. Remember, it kept him out most of last week, so that's something that reoccurred. Jordy Mercer, I'm not as sure. I have no idea. I would probably have to agree with that. If you know you got an off day the next day, probably makes it a little bit more of a sensible thing to start a guy. Managers will tell you a lot of times that stuff is kind of plotted out ahead of time. They'll tell you that they have guys scheduled for days off maybe a week or two in advance. I imagine it was one of those situations. Josh Harrison is a completely different situation. He's a guy still recovering from an injury. Hamstring injuries are recurring. They could be nagging. That's why Corey Dickerson's on the disabled list. They tried to see how long they could wait to see if that would get better, and Dickerson actually admitted it after the fact. He says, I'm a guy that doesn't like going 60%, so he agreed to go on the disabled list. With Josh Harrison, I imagine it's the same thing. They want to make sure he can go full bore come Monday and Tuesday. On the other side of it, I'm one of those people that does admire the work that the Pirates do in the community. I admire the work that all 3 local teams do in the community. I think Pirates Charities does a great job. I think the Steelers do a great job as far as their work with local charities. I think the Penguins do a great job as far as the things they do with local charities, especially with the Wounded Warrior Project. They do a lot with that too. So there's a lot of different causes that these local teams do participate in. And I think it's one thing that probably gets overlooked. I'm kind of glad you mentioned it, because it's something that does get overlooked as a whole, with not just the organizations, but with the players themselves. Some of these guys do some things, whether it's off the field or off the ice, so to speak, and some of them don't want it to be known. Some guys rather would do some of their charity work in secret, not want a lot of publicity for it. Some guys are okay with it, but it is something that is worth noting, especially when it's that open and it's that productive. So I would have to agree with that as well. Let's go to Paul in Vanport. Paul, you're in the Nightly Sports Call.
Hey, Josh. Thanks for taking my call.
Thanks for calling in.
I have a couple questions for you. The rookie quarterback that the Steelers drafted,
Mason Rudolph.
What's his chance of moving into the number 2 slot behind Ben? And what's the future for Landry Jones? And I'll hang up and listen. Thank you.
It's a good question. I think it's too early to call. I think it's too early. We're a couple days in. We have not seen a lot of Mason Rudolph as far as opportunities to get reps with the higher guys in the depth chart at practice, so it's really hard to gauge that right now. I imagine that's something we'll probably find more about within the next week or two, especially as the preseason games start to come around, because those are starting to ramp up as well. So we'll have to see what these guys do as far as opportunities in practice, and we'll have to see what they do in preseason games. Now, as far as Landry Jones is concerned, I think we've seen everything we could see from Landry Jones as far as his work as a backup quarterback, both in the preseason and in opportunities in the regular season. I don't think he's going to do anything that's going to surprise you any more than you would have normally seen. I'm more interested to see what Mason Rudolph does in preseason games. Yes, I know it's going to be against guys who are probably going to be out of the game in a few weeks or probably looking for other jobs in a few weeks, but at the same time, you got to try to see what happens in a game environment, as Mike Tomlin always likes to say, in a game environment or in game situations, to see how well he handles that opportunity. But some of the early returns that have been brought back is that he's actually made some pretty good plays in practice, and a couple in particular with his old college teammate, James Washington. So that's something that definitely sticks out, but I think there's still a lot more to be determined before we have a really good grasp on that. Let's go to Tony in the Hill District. Shout out to the Hill. Tony, you're on the Nightly Sports Call.
Hello, Josh. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm fine. I want to say this. I heard about the Brown calling on Dez Bryant. I want to say this. Just because he calls on Dez Bryant, even if someone's picked up Dez Bryant, that does not guarantee a championship. Okay? And another thing, this Le'Veon Bell thing, I just want to say, I just really hope they let him go next year instead of trying to franchise tag him and go through all this nonsense with him about this contract. I think they just let him go and just start over with the running backs that they do have.
Thanks for the call. I wouldn't get too up in arms about the Antonio Brown, Dez Bryant thing. I dial that back a bit. I don't think that's going to happen. He's actually already had some preliminary talks with the Browns, according to Cleveland.com. Apparently some of his representatives have talked with Cleveland. I wouldn't read too much into it. We're also talking about Juju Smith-Schuster, who was trying to lure LeBron James to play for the Steelers. Sometimes you just got to laugh at it. That's pretty much where I am right now, not to mention the fact of maybe laughing at the thought of Dez Bryant playing for the Browns. Maybe I'll laugh at that too. Some things you just got to laugh off. As far as Le'Veon Bell's concerned, I think we will find by the end of this season, going into the offseason, that the Steelers will make one last effort to offer one last contract extension to Le'Veon Bell. He will probably say no, and they will thank him for his time with the organization and wish him the best in his future endeavors. That's what I'm expecting. I think some of the offers they have made within the past couple of years were more than fair. Now, granted, they might not be what he's seeking as far as his own particular worth or how he feels that what he's worth, and that's fine. I mean, that's one of the things about the free market is you're allowed to explore what you think you might be worth. He's going to have that opportunity to do that because I think what he thinks he's worth is not going to happen from the Steelers. And this is really the downside of having an organization that has to pay a top-flight quarterback like Ben Roethlisberger. You have to pay the best wide receiver in the game in Antonio Brown. You got to pay those guys what they're worth. And it's hard to pay so many guys that are good at what they do and try to keep everything under the cap, which, by the way, you're still trying to fix a defense that's still kind of adjusting on the fly. You just lost one of your most impactful guys last season. They're still trying to make that transition, trying to find something else there. They're still trying to make transitions in the secondary. So they can't they can't allocate everything to something that's probably going to be detrimental in the long term. They have to try to find the right decision that works, not only for the running back position, not only for the offense, but for all 60-plus guys on the roster after everything gets pared down when the preseason's over. Got to take a break. We come back, sizzling shot, taking more phone calls right after this.